Welcome to UMFM Suburban Home at home. My name is Justin Fisher or Fish. I'm at home and I'm joined by Jason Hook, ex-guitarist for Five Finger Death Punch, and currently in a new band called Flat Black, who are on tour, currently supporting Godsmack, Prevail, and Atreyu. How are you today? Where are you currently? And what have you and the band been doing and listening to while on the road?
Oh, today we are in Calgary, Alberta.
Yes.
Calgary, Alberta. I should know this. I'm Canadian. Calgary, Alberta, at the iconic Saddle Dome.
Nice. That's awesome.
Saddle Dome. Thanks, bud. And life is good. Yeah, we're we're approaching the end of this tour. So today is Friday the 13th. So say a prayer that nothing happens, nothing goes wrong tonight.
Yeah.
Then we have 5 more shows after tonight. And we end up in Quebec City,
Nice.
where we say au revoir to Canada.
Yeah. Metal capital there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quebec is awesome. Played there a bunch. Montreal is awesome. They have what's the festival they have out there in Quebec or Montreal?
Um,
Oh, you wouldn't know because you're not in Canada.
I am in Canada, but I'm in
Well,
Winnipeg.
You're in Winnipeg.
Yes.
You know how I know you're in Canada? You're in a basement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is very chilly here, so yeah.
it is. So that's the scoop, really. Everything's been great. Godsmack has been great. Uh, it's been a hell of a ride, man. It's fun. It's been fun. Our first tour ever.
Yeah. And is it like so is it like starting from scratch, or because you have your experience with your other big band, is it, has has it just been like normal, just like because you have the experience, has it just been like normal?
Um, it's an interesting question because a bit of both. There is sort of that newness and a fresh excitement that comes from being with a brand new group and a new thing, and everyone's excited because there's something new. But I think in a good way, because I have a lot of miles on my odometer in this department, I think it's good that um I'm not so much lost in the honeymoon part of it. It's more for me, it's more of an excitement that this is actually working, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, because it's all I really wanted was to get back in the game and be able to write songs and make records. Um, and here we are and tour. So, I'm a blessed motherfucker. I'm a lucky, very lucky guitar player.
For sure. Um, so when did this project form, and how did you find the other members? And when did you start writing songs for this project?
Well, I started writing in 2020.
Okay.
Um, I knew that it was going to look, I'm really super picky, and um and I knew it was going to take some time to find the 3 other guys that were of the caliber that I was looking for. But I thought, there's really nothing more fun than building a band. I mean, with no time pressure, because you have to remember when I started this in 2020, we had the pandemic. So the entire world was on pause and nobody really was expecting anything from anybody. So in a way that worked out really well for me, because then without feeling the pressure of everyone else being out there and being active and not feeling included, that component wasn't really there. Everyone was on pause. So I instantly just started looking for guys. First thing I wanted was a drummer. I found a great drummer. We started working on some more music together. Then we found the singer. Once we found the singer, things started to pick up quickly.
For sure. Um, and do you have any other projects on the go besides Flat Black?
Well, I'm a kind of a busy bee. I like to do multiple things, but this band, it's sort of requiring my full attention, you know.
Right.
I have been filming everything, so there has been some chatter about putting it all together in some sort of long form doc.
Nice.
But that also is very time consuming. So I think after this tour, I'll probably start working on that. Plus, we're going to start writing for the next record.
Awesome.
First record's not even out.
Yeah. I will have some questions about that, but
Yeah.
um, this next question, I guess, kind of pertains to that last question I asked. Um, I've read that before your time in Five Finger Death Punch, you played with some artists, including Hilary Duff, Mandy Moore, Alice Cooper, just as a session guitarist. So you were a busy bee since, 2000 or so. Are you able to talk more about that experience and what it was like going from a session, pop and rock guitarist to more metal inclined guitar work with this band and Five Finger Death Punch? Or is it like a Josh Freese thing where you just play whatever you like naturally?
Um, well, it's an interesting question, but the simple answer is my uh my heart belongs in hard rock heavy metal. It always has.
Mm,
And hold on one second. It always has. And so, when I moved to Los Angeles, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what to do. I had nothing. I moved there with nothing except for my guitar and my amp. So the first thing I thought would be to mingle with as many people in the community, the music community, as possible. And then eventually I got invited to do things, And if you're not doing anything and somebody invites you to go out on an arena tour, I was like, let's do it. And my attitude has always been, whatever I do, I try to do it to the best of my ability. So it wasn't so much about, I never really thought about like, I really can't see myself playing this kind of music. I looked at it as a high profile gig, and that there are plenty of guitar players lined up behind me that would love the opportunity to try this. And so I always looked at it from a standpoint of gratitude. And then and it didn't matter what it was, I was going to knock it out of the park.
right.
But
Yeah,
like all of us, including guys like Josh Freese, we still have the part of us that, well, the part of music that we're particularly fond of. And being a hard rock heavy metal guitar player, I always grew up listening to that sort of dominant genre. But again, I never want anyone to accuse me of like he wasn't good enough or it didn't work out. He just wasn't the right guy, whatever. I'm always like, there's no way I want to be ever labeled that. So I try to knock shit out of the park, no matter what it is I'm doing with anything.
for sure. Um, now we can talk about some of the flat black stuff right now, uh, and the songs specifically. Flat Black currently has two songs on streaming services, which are Halo and It's Your Lack of Respect. I really liked It's Your Lack of Respect. That's a sick song. Are you able to share any like teasers or like a release date for any new singles or an upcoming album?
Oh yeah. And I've been asked this question a lot, so it's not a unique question, but there's like a weird glare coming right across my face. I'm trying to help you out here. How's that?
Good, yeah.
Um, okay. So the album will come out in March.
Awesome.
And yes, that's far away. But that's just the way it goes because
Mm,
there was two choices. It was either the fall or the spring, and we were too late to do everything properly for a
uh,
fall release.
mhm,
Now, having said that, so the album comes out in March, still a long way away, but we've got two more songs dropping before the album comes out. So one song is coming out in 5 days called Justice Will Be Done.
awesome.
The third release off this Flat Black debut record will be out in 5 days on the 18th. and then right after the holiday, I think January 1st, we start going to radio with a song called "A Bit of Lightning."
Awesome. Yeah,
That seems to
so
be that seems to be the big winner. Like when we do the concert, even though nobody's ever heard the song and we don't have an album out, people are already singing along to this song, "A Bit of Lightning," because the previous shows, like the audience have been filming the songs.
mm,
So the songs are going up on YouTube, live versions shot from the audience. And that's what people are listening to.
yeah,
It's crazy that to think that you could have songs that are that powerful that you don't even need them released, but people are requesting them and learning them and playing them from fan shot iPhone videos.
yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. Uh, I always like seeing that. You know, I've seen it even with local bands and stuff. Uh, People will be singing along with the song that's not even released.
yeah, well,
it's
that's the
so
whole.
awesome.
It reminds me that because you mentioned it, reminds me of playing in bar bands
Mm,
back when I was younger. And the only way to get people interested in your band was to put on a good show with a bunch of songs that people thought, I really like that one. What's that one? It has to be simplified and sort of delivered in a compact and easy to ingest package when you play a bar and there's no record deal or nothing. You have to sort of tailor your stuff so people go, I love that band. And the same principles apply, even if you're in arenas. I want to be playing songs where you go, you know what, the songs were good. I can't wait for those to come out, blah, blah, blah.
right.
That got brighter.
Um, as far as lyrics and songwriting, who in the band does like a majority of that? Can you talk about some of the lyrical themes that we'll be seeing across this release?
Well, what I can tell you is that every lyric comes from a true event. So there's really nothing fabricated. Um, I wrote I wrote a handful of these songs. I wrote with a couple of friends of mine, Keith Wallen and Sahaj Tickerton, and these guys are two of my very best friends, and very good at what they do. So I start off by writing some stuff with them, and I'm always trying to get in on the lyrics, but admittedly, it's not my strongest. It's not my attribute, as far as I love song titles and I'll carve away at lyrics. But the, when it comes to those other tracks, it was sort of a co-write between me and those guys, and then the rest of the material we sort of wrote as a band. And Wes Rex, the singer, he comes in with the concepts and the words, and we sort of carve up melodies together.
For sure. Yeah. Um, how has the reception for the singles been from friends and fans alike?
Oh, amazing.
That's great.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I can't. It really is sort of a pinch me moment, as far as you can't believe that all this came together so quickly, and we've had such a great push from the machine that is behind us. Very lucky.
yeah, for sure. Um, Now I do want to ask a bit of an off-topic question,
Mhm.
before I get into some of the like ending questions, I guess. Um, so I read on your Spotify bio that I believe your singer is or he picked up music because of Guitar Hero. Um, I know that your previous band, Five Finger Death Punch, had some songs licensed to Rock Band and Guitar Hero. What's your opinion on musicians discovering and picking up music through these games? Because I, as a rhythm game player, I'm very interested in hearing this from, a musician such as you.
Well, I think it's great, really. There are so many bands in the world, and it's so competitive that if somebody wanted to use a piece of music or a song for a video game, then that's immediately the answer is amazing, great, because you'll take every opportunity possible to reach a new audience, you know. Like I don't see any point. And plus, I find that there is a bit of a cool factor there too, you know,
Yeah.
because you know the games they could pick anything, and if they're chasing your song down, that's kind of an honor, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I love like I ingested. Do you know who Mick Gordon is?
Yes, the Doom guy, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So he he has some of his soundtrack work for the games on Spotify, and they're, you
Yeah.
know, just incredible tracks, man. I mean, that
Hmm.
guy's talented, very
Yeah.
talented.
And he also did a song with Monuments,
Mhm.
who are
Of
super
course.
incredible band.
Yeah.
Yeah, like dude's talented as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's an example of like I think soundtrack music is really important because music really is just supposed to set up a vibe, set up an emotion, put you in a headspace, put you, you know, evoke a feeling. And so if it's so with soundtracks, you have to sort of do that, but not stand out in the foreground. You're supposed to be in the background creating the vibe. So there's a real functionality to that type of music that I think still applies in music that has lyrics and words that are just songs. You know, the whole concept of music is supposed to deliver a feeling, you know?
right. Yeah. So, what influences do you have personally and as a band collectively for the music that you're making right now?
Well, you know, to me, my theory on music is very simple. It goes back to sort of primitive times where human beings are analog, you know, so they like to sing and dance, and that's it. You know, it's very simple. They like to move and sing along and drink their Budweiser. You know, I think that I think that for my 2 cents, I like to keep things fairly simple. I think if you put too much data into your music, then it tends to get lost on people.
For
So
sure.
yes, you can have moments of stuff that is um, technically cool or complicated, but I wouldn't stay there too long. I think the whole idea is to just keep things like fucking meat and potatoes.
For sure. Yeah. And this is kind of the last question I have, unless something pops up while you're talking about this. Uh, is there any smaller bands that you'd like to give a shout out, or even tour with in the future, maybe?
Hmm. Uh, well, I mean, to me, touring to me is just an opportunity. Um, you know, we hop on a vehicle to go play in front of a lot of people and meet a lot of people and sort of, you know, expose our product. So when it comes down to, are there any bands that I'd like to tour with? I'll take any of them and all of them. To me, it's just preferably the bands that have the biggest attendance would be my answer.
Yeah,
Because if we're opening, then the mission is to get in as many impressions as possible.
right.
So it's not that I'm super like fanboy, can't wait to open for somebody. If you say what bands would you like to open um, for my personal desire, you just put me on Kiss from now until the day I die, and I'm good.
Yeah.
See, Kiss doesn't need black, black.
Yeah, that's a great attitude to have, you know. You can't be too picky in this industry.
Mhm.
Um, you know, anyone would be an honor to tour with, whether they're a support band or headliner or co-headliner or whatever. Yeah, I
I would
totally
say
agree.
also too, like I've had the pleasure of sort of bonding with the Godsmack people, the crew and the band, and I've watched their show several times, and I gotta say that I'm sort of a newly converted Godsmack fan. they do such an amazing job at delivering an entertaining show. It's really good. It really is great. They put some time into that, and Sully is a master with the audience. He really is good. So um, they're kind of like, yeah, I can't say enough good stuff about Godsmack. Not to mention they gave us a shot to come out and play on this tour. So, but I've been very impressed with them. They're just great.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Godsmack, I Prevail, Atreyu,
Yeah,
and Flat Black, of course. This has been Jason Hook from Flat Black. Thank you so much for joining me and doing this with me.
yeah, you're welcome.
This is Suburban Home and Suburban Home at Home.
Yeah,
And my name is Justin Fisher, of course. That was Jason Hook. And yeah, thank you again.
yeah, you're
And
welcome.
yeah, I hope you have a great night at the Sal Dome, I think it is.
Battle Dome tonight. Yeah,
Yeah. That's-
to be playing any place that has dome in its name. That feels pretty good. Yeah, we're down at the the dome or whatever. The Normo Dome,
Yeah, the
sold
Las
out.
Vegas Spear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, um, yeah, have a great rest of your Canadian run and uh hope to hear some great new music and hope to see you at a show eventually.
Yeah, great. Sounds great.